When I was a kid, I actually wanted to be a dentist because I liked going to the dentist for some reason. I think I was the only person in the world who liked that. Yeah. So my parents, my mom is French Canadian, and my dad is true Canadian, born in Deep River, Ontario, which is kind of like a small nuclear power plant sort of town. His parents were both chemists, and he studied math before leaving his undergraduate degree to become a criminal lawyer. My dad studied and practiced criminal law for 37 years, and then last year was sworn in as a provincial judge, which was a really happy moment for my family. But my whole childhood, my dad was defending criminals. That's what my dad did. And then or people convicted of crime assume that you're innocent until proven guilty, right? And then my mom had a whole bunch of different career paths. When I was a kid, she had taken some time off to spend with us, and then she worked for the Department of Justice with the government. She then went to school because she wanted to be a school teacher, and then she started teaching elementary school when I was in grade 6 or so. So my mom taught French, taught math, taught social studies, that sort of thing, to students grade 1 through 6, depending on the year or whatever it was. And my mom is now retired, and my dad is a judge. Yeah.
Do you share anything in common with your parents?
I think I have parts of both of them. My mom is very free-spirited, very bold, unafraid to say and do what she feels is right for her. And I think that a lot of that is instilled in me, being an artist and pursuing what felt genuine for me to do. She's got a strong personality, and I think that I very much take that from my mom. On my dad's side, I think I've always aspired to have his work ethic. My dad was somebody that worked around the clock and wasn't even willing to have his work compromise his relationships either. He was the kind of dad that packed my lunches, went to work for 12 hours, took an hour off to have dinner, or bring me to sports practice, and then went back to the office after that. So to be around that kind of figure was really inspiring for me as a kid, where you could, so to speak, have it all. You could work and have your career come first, but you could also have your family come first, etc. So I think that whether I have that part of him or not, it's something that I am inspired by in my dad.
How do you feel about graduating?
I'm excited. I think that SFAI is really about what you make of it, and I think that I knew coming here what I wanted to do. I wanted to make as much work as possible, but I also wanted to make friends and meet other artists and create stuff and do things. I think I got a lot of that. I got to work with a ton of really amazing faculty. I got to work with Brett Reichman and Felicita Norris and Danielle Lawrence. On the curatorial side, I got to work with Katie Hood Morgan. On the teaching side, I got to work with Emily Shulman. And these people were mentors to me and were unbelievably inspiring, and that's really what I took out of it. But in terms of being nervous to graduate, no, I'm excited because now I get to hone in on what it is that I really want to do and really try and tackle that. And obviously there's challenges, like your studio gets taken away from you and everything changes, but I'm looking forward to it. So.
Do you have plans after graduation?
I do. I have a couple different plans. I applied to Young Artist Program. I might do that. I also applied to some gallery jobs out east. I'm an East Coast girl. I'm a North girl, being from Canada. So there were some things that I was looking to get out a little bit. The West Coast has been amazing for me here, but every time I go to New York, or even I was in Nashville and Charlotte over the course of the winter semester, and I just feel I feel home in a lot of places. I'm lucky to feel home in a lot of places. So I've been kind of putting myself out there in all kinds of different fields, and then over the next few weeks I'll just be making the decision that I think is best based on the little information that I have, So, yeah.
Do you know how your parents feel about your graduation?
I haven't asked them. I have not asked my parents how they feel. I think that they're probably happy I got through it and that I survived. But I'm sure, I'm sure they're a little nervous as well. The whole immigration thing is interesting. I think they're nervous about what I'm going to do and the balance between being an artist and sustaining myself and being able to really operate as an adult and not feel like I've pigeonholed myself into being like a bum in a little art studio and eating paint for sustenance and these sorts of things. So I think they're proud of me. I'm sure they have lots of nervousness too. Yeah. Would be my dad. Eyes closed, stroking the beard across the mustache, coming towards the chin and then across, and maybe like a nod at the end of it. That would be the first one. And then my mom. Woohoo! I don't know. That's all I can think of. That's it. I think to make it just one thing would be a huge mistake. The role of art for me changes all the time, depending on what I need from it, depending on what I'm looking at, what I'm exposed to, who I'm experiencing it with. The role for art in my studio could go from personal expression all the way to a means of connecting with other people, connecting with the world that I'm living in. It could be very introverted, it could be very extroverted, it could be about showing, it could be about building community. It could be just about finding peace in beauty or an idea. But to say, what is the role? Maybe to search for meaning or connection or community, but again, like these things just keep expanding and expanding. I wouldn't make art only do one thing for me. I'm greedier than that. I wanted to do a lot of things. Yeah.
What is the most important thing for you in your life?
Relationships. The most important thing for me is really feeling connected to the people that I care about, both ways. Like they know that I am there for them, and I know that they're there for me too. I think that in our Western society, we get extremely bogged down on our individual achievement, on career, on power, vanity. These sorts of things are just being bombarded at us all the time in different types of ways. And you can get really caught up in thinking, I'll do the next thing and then the next thing and the next thing, and you have this like really far out goal of how you see yourself or an ideal, and I think that can be really toxic. I really hone in on making sure that at every given moment that I'm feeling purpose from what I'm doing right now and that I'm happy right now, because I don't think that you can bank on something that you're working towards making you happy later. You don't know how things are going to shift. And the number one thing that continues to fill my life are the people in it. And so for me, that's the number one thing, for sure. My dream, of course, would be to be able to just be an artist, to be able to get up, walk somewhere every day or bike every single day, work in my studio until the sun goes down, and then go home and have a home, have a home that was my own, with people to share it with, and food, and all these things. So that would be a dream. How I hope to get there, I'm open to lots of different things, and I know it's going to take a lot of time too. But I think that the work that I want to make is ever changing. The engagement that I have with the art world is changing too. I think there's going to be moments where I really do want to just create, maybe others where I want to teach, others where I'm more focused on curating. And if I did have one dream, so to speak, outside of my own personal practice, it would be to really create opportunities for other artists. And I feel very inspired by the notion that I could create a platform or a space or a means for artists to get out of just the pure artist community and engage with a broader network. I really think that would be a dream for me.